a lot of people's jobs would be taken away, and an opportunity for young people to become self-sufficient.
Welcome to the Unknown Options, the place where we explore the unknown options. My name is Will, and today I have with me Erick Velo. Erick, it's great to have you here. Your journey is important, so we want to highlight the good, the bad, and the ugly. For someone who might not know, what is an auto body tech?
Yes. Well, basically, what it is we fix and repair cars that have been damaged, mainly with cosmetics. So we deal with paint, fiberglass, bond, and we get involved with metal work as well. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, basically
Nice.
the general cover.
Okay. Okay. How did you get started in this industry?
Okay, well, it's been I could say that it's been a lifelong journey. Ever since I came out of the womb, I've been third generation, you could say, dealing with cars repair. My grandfather, he was a mechanic, a foreign car mechanic up in New York. Um, and I mean, he had to at least do it for around 40 years. He specialized in Mercedes Benz's, Audis, BMWs, and Bentleys, and the higher end type of cars. And this is like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's where my father actually, he ended up growing up in my grandfather's mechanic shop in New York, and he wanted to do something a little different, which he fell in love with the aspect of making the cars shine and getting that paint on and everything. So he knew a little bit about mechanics and stuff like that, but he had other
Yeah.
views and what I mean that he wanted to
Yeah.
do. So fast forward, my dad and my mom and my two sisters actually, we moved down. They moved down to Charlotte. That's where I was born. Charlotte, North Carolinian. It's rare. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Out here on Indian Trail, that was the first one that he did. And I grew up there. Became, once I became of age, by the time I was around 17, 18 years old, that's when I really started diving into it a little bit more seriously, helping my father out on the weekends and stuff like that while I was in high school, junior and senior year of high school.
Okay.
So it basically grew from there, and now we could basically say 10 years. Basically,
Nice.
I've been doing this continuously.
Okay. That's a great story. Generational
Uh,
carpreneurs, I
yeah,
guess.
right. Yeah.
I mean, even though I guess it was passed down, what was your like? I guess your first experience with cars that you knew you really wanted to work with them for a long period of time.
Well, I would say that I've had a lot of influence as I grew up. I mean, I have my parents have photos of me in their photo album of me getting underneath a little what is it called? A pedal go-kart. You
Oh
had like a
man,
little
yeah,
go-kart that you could pedal. I
yeah.
would pretend to be underneath it like I'm doing something and I'm not really, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really been a long time, and that's like
Goodness.
when I'm like probably like 4 or 5 years old, more like 4 years old. You know what I mean?
Sheesh.
Just heavily involved in it, and I didn't necessarily know what avenue I wanted to do in it, but it's literally stuck with me like for as long as I can remember.
Goodness. Okay. That's interesting. It's like, do you I mean like with a lot of like I guess technology and stuff, people working like office jobs, are you seeing like a decline in like people I guess an interest in cars, people working on cars. Because I'm you know me. I'm not I like cars, but I can't tell you nothing about them. You know what I mean? But you a car dude. So like have you seen like because I mean we're the same age, so have you seen like a decline, increase in like that's really technical work, but it's like kind of trade work too, kind of like it.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
trade work, and it is actually it is declining because, a lot of what ends up happening is happens in a lot of different industries. It ends up turning into somewhat of a monopoly where you have the bigger businesses, bigger body shops that end up swallowing up the little guys. And it just what happened. It's was how the economy ended up shifting, and just how business in America does. It's
Yeah.
a lot of big businesses. If As soon as they end up piling up all the resources and money, they end up buying out these smaller shops and stuff like that. And a lot of these automakers are starting to push laws. Tesla is one of the most famous ones recently, where they don't want independent shops to work on their vehicles. They want you to ship their car to their facility, and they basically keep all the money in house instead of allowing people, blue collar or just DIYers, people that
Yeah.
to actually, be able to work on those types of cars. They're making it harder for it now. You have a lot of technology based things. For instance, BMW. If you really want to be a BMW tech, you basically have to learn how to operate the car in its service mode on an iPad or a tablet type. So, it's getting real technical instead of less hands on, more technical, because we're dealing with a lot of computer chips and modules and stuff like that.
So when you say with the iPad, so there's like no screwdrivers, no wrenches. It's just they're just messing with like an iPad.
Yeah, it's more computer based
Mm,
malfunctions than actual mechanical failures. There are mechanical
ah,
failures. You'll end up running into that with more of like the suspension.
yeah,
Is when you really like deal with a lot of mechanical issues and the engine, obviously. But a
yeah,
lot of small things that you end up having to go to the dealer for, that you're gonna make the check engine light come on. You got
yeah,
like 20 little sensors for one particular operation of the vehicle. And
yeah.
for you to actually shift through all of those things, you need a computer in hand that plugs into the vehicle's mainframe and essentially points you in the right direction.
That's actually, I mean, obviously it's not my industry I work in, but that's actually crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I wanna touch on like I guess the monopolization of like this
Mhm.
industry. How do like small independent shops, or not small, how do independent shops like your own,
Mhm.
how do y'all like, I guess not necessarily stay in business, but I guess compete with like all those external factors?
Well, it's really I would say it's when people come here and they work with us, there is an actual story that is behind it. For one, we are, connected in the community. Um, we are here on Wilkinson Boulevard, which is the predominantly black side of town. So
Yeah,
we work with a lot of our, brothers and sisters, and
yeah,
word of mouth is our main way of reaching out to people. And again, we bring more quality over quantity.
yeah.
So we may not have, the parking lot stuffed with cars, but the cars that we do have, we put 110% in them, and they come out with that extra bit of love that you
Mm,
don't get with those major body shops. And that's why that's like our core
principle,
yeah, core
yeah,
principle. And
yeah,
those are our people, those are our customers,
definitely.
to say.
Okay.
So
Nah, I like that. That I mean, makes sense. Like it makes sense. It is working, obviously.
right, right. Hey,
Uh,
look, we growing a little bit
yeah,
every
yeah,
day, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Facts. And that's every day is that's the compound effect. Grow every day, then be huge, even bigger
Yeah.
than huge. Is college required to be a auto body tech?
Well, yeah, they do have schools for it. There it's not really a lot there, like we talked about, it is a dying breed. There's a lot of big companies where they put in certain laws to make it harder for people to go into these certain avenues, or just to make it desirable anyways. It's more about making it desirable, because you can find courses, either whether it's online or with your community college. I think Gaston County College, they do certain things with mechanics and stuff like that, and it's you can find ways into it. It is good to know the basis and to learn from school. Me, since I've been growing into it, I didn't have to go to school, because that's
Mm,
is basically a part of my life. So,
yeah,
it came a little bit more natural to me, because I'm more familiar with the things that go on in this industry.
that,
But there are different avenues that you can take to get certified with certifications in
mm,
paint and in body work too, separately or together, depending on where you go.
okay.
Um,
Cause I know like I work in like somewhat in real estate, and like the certifications in real estate like are like meaningless. Do customers actually care about their certifications, or do they care about the work? Like, is it?
Well, it's good to know it. What that
Yeah,
does is build trust in between, the
gotcha.
customer and the business owner. They
True.
could look at your wall and see that, okay, this guy actually
Yeah.
paid some money, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
and
definitely,
actually put
definitely,
in the work to
definitely,
do this, instead
definitely.
of just your average Joe that, is walking down the street.
Yeah, man. Hey, it makes sense. Credibility is everything. Trust is
Right, right.
everything.
Yeah.
I know your days probably are like all different because you're working on different cars and you have different things to do every day. But could you give us like, I guess, like maybe one of like your more common like day to days, like what you do in a day, in your job, if you can.
Right. Well, basically, the way that it is, it's our body shop is a two-man body shop, me and my father, and the cars that we have in here, we basically build a schedule on what comes in first, and what, depending on how much we have to do on that actual car, it dictates. We're able to judge how much time we need to spend on it, and from there, we just basically bounce back and forth in between what needs to get done the next as we go along.
Okay. What's I guess your favorite project or favorite car or bike that you worked on?
Um, well, it's that one's like kind of hard, because I enjoy doing it as a whole. It's more of like
Mm,
the journey, instead of
yeah.
the one single project. You know what I mean?
True.
There have
True.
been some really big projects that I really like. There's one that we're working on right now. It's a 1976 Porsche 911. Uh,
Goodness.
it's basically like, it's almost body on frame resto. We had to change the color from black to red. The owner had it for years. It was in his family, and he
Mm,
got inherited the car, and he didn't really have a place to put it for like somewhere better half of 5 to 7 years. It ended up staying out in his yard, the tree. He
mm,
tried to cover it up the best he
yeah.
could, but finally, once he brought it out of there, it was definitely a little rough.
Yeah.
But since it's a smaller car, I can compartmentalize what needs to be done with it, so it makes it easier to work on. It's not something that is huge and has
Yeah.
absolutely everything. So
Okay. That
that one is,
sounds.
yeah, that one is the most recent one I have.
Are y'all still working on that one, or did y'all finish that one already?
We're still working. He went to the upholstery shop actually, because he's getting red interior and red
Okay.
seats in it. So he's going all in with it. So
Goodness.
it's at the upholstery shop, and then it's gonna come back, and I have to finish putting the front nose of the car together, front fenders, bumpers, headlights, and I have to do a little bit of wiring for it, so it could basically make sure everything works perfectly fine. And he wants a little radio sound system in it, and that's stuff that I could do. for the car. So those are some of the last things that basically need to be done for it,
Okay,
to get
nice.
it out of here, button it
I
up.
I like to see that. I know I'm probably gonna see it in your stories, but I wanna. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing that.
Oh yeah,
Let's.
definitely.
We're gonna take it kind of a different route, but if you were a younger Eric, 18, just graduated high school, I guess you have all the knowledge you have now. Would you do anything differently?
I would definitely be more focused. When you're young, you're always running around. You still think, you feel like you have more time.
Yeah,
It's really just being, excuse me. It's really about
that's
being more focused and really just setting up a plan for the future so you can execute on it as you go. Not everything is perfect, but if you build a plan around it, at least you can have a better way of steering your way, navigating through life, and getting through to your goals and everything.
definitely. I love that answer. I love that answer. Okay, so now we made it to the not so speed round. The not so speed round obviously is a not so speed round. It's supposed to be speed round, but it's not speedy. So it's gonna be four questions, and you can just answer them however you want to answer them.
Okay.
First one is, what would happen to society if this? I mean, the question is if this job didn't exist, but I would say if this industry, this
Mhm.
subset industry, what would happen if it didn't exist?
I mean, what would happen if it didn't exist? It would it would just be something, a lot of people's jobs would be taken away and an opportunity for young people to become self-sufficient and to actually, it's a like okay, for what I'm going to say is what this job helps me do that's not just working on cars. This allows me to work on problem solving skills. So, you run into situations where you have to figure out what's going on. You have to figure out what happened. This is a way for you to exercise in other in just in with working with your hands and what you run into in the industry. So I would say that, a lot of young people would miss out on opportunities where they it could help them, with problem solving skills and learning small tidbits about engineering, because you always touch into certain things whenever you're diving into the auto body industry or just the auto making industry period.
Mhm.
There is a little bit of engineering that comes involved with it because it's all about problem solving. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
You want to be
definitely.
able to make something. If somebody doesn't make something, you have to step in and make
Mhm.
that thing to make it work. You know what I mean? To get what you want.
Definitely. I love that. I love that answer.
Yeah.
This second question is kind of, it's a little tricky, I guess. Are you over or underpaid?
Well, I would say, I mean, I would definitely say, it's kind of hard. It's hard to say because, the more knowledge I gain, the more value I bring to the table. So,
Mm,
I can't necessarily say that I'm absolutely totally underpaid right now because I'm not
yeah,
working. There's different levels to everything, I should say.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So it's like, as you progress, you dive in deeper into things that you do, and you know, it's like becoming being able to, I'm trying to, get my words together,
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
you know, um, again, it comes back to problem solving. For instance, we painted a 1950 Cadillac, and there were brackets that needed to be made um, for to hold up a body panel for it. Those brackets that originally came from the factory rusted out. So basically, what I had to do was manufacture my own brackets for it, match it up, and make it work to where it sits on the car and operates as it did back then, as it came from the factory. So, going when you do those types of things, that adds more value to your work, and it allows you to be able to charge more, and
Mm,
because you're providing an extended service, you know what I mean? You're not just
yeah,
sticking to just painting one thing. You're actually learning how to, fix people's and do stuff, make brackets, work and that kind of thing.
definitely. I agree with you. And to piggyback off what you said, I remember when I used to work at Lowe's. There's a flooring guy who's coming all the time, and he said he had a lot of money. I don't know, but he was a cool dude. But he told me one time, he's like, "You know why people pay me what they pay me?" And I was like, "Because of your skill." And he said, "No, because of my knowledge."
Right,
He
right.
said, "Because
Exactly.
I think that's exactly what you're saying. Is like the more knowledge you accumulate, the more you can charge. And since you're not underpaid because you have a certain level of knowledge, but every day, every minute,
it,
every
it,
second,
it
you're
grows.
learning more. Yeah. So
Exactly. So it
yeah,
grows,
yeah,
it plays hand in hand,
yeah. Yeah, I like that answer. That was a good answer to that one. Like, because some people, most people are like, I don't know, I don't know, I want to answer it. But that's a really good. It's almost like you're compensated fairly because like you're compensated for the knowledge you have, and then like you're not complacent, so you're always growing. So I like that.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, one name one person, book, or event that changed the trajectory of your life and why.
To like three or you say one moment, a person
Um,
or a bug.
yeah, person, moment, or book. Yep.
I mean, I would say is I guess like as far as with me, like as far as like career wise, you're asking more in
Just
terms of
in
career
general,
wise or
'cause
just in general.
I'll say in general because I feel like in general it'll probably affect your career too. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I guess I could say, when it helped me kind of realize when my grandfather passed. He
Rest in
passed
peace.
in 2011, and that gave me an opportunity. I didn't really, I wasn't able to spend as much time with my grandfather and to see the things that he was able to do. You know what I mean? Just because he stayed up in New York and I always lived down south and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would say that, when I got a chance to really go up to New York and see his shop, see where he was at, then that gave me an opportunity to see where my father
Mm,
started out with, really with his own business. It gave me an opportunity to be able to really put my eyes on, see what reality is in, the people that came before me,
mm,
and to see the accomplishments that they've made. You know what
mm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it stuck with me because I
Yeah.
was able to see some of his old customers. They would come around. They had some of their nice cars, and it was nice old school Benzes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
These are all black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
They got their nice cars, and I was able to see some of the things that he was able to do and accomplish. So
Yeah.
that definitely put things in perspective for me. And by that time, I was like a junior, and I was probably like a sophomore, sorry, junior in high school. We were, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
like that was something big, I would say, because I didn't, other than seeing my own father allowed me to step almost like further back in time, to see
Yeah.
how far this has come, And
Facts. That makes sense. I like that. I like that. Okay. The last question, and I guess a question a lot of people are waiting for. If you met like a young, let's say we met a hypothetical person named Lenny, 18 years old, wants to become an auto body tech. How do they become an auto body tech? What's the path that you give him or her to become or to get where you're at?
I would say, it really all starts with you having enough courage to do what you want to do, because a lot of people don't understand that, whether it comes, it's a little different with auto body work because there is certain skills that you need to have. But as far as like, with mechanic work, it's all about just tinkering and messing with stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm,
There is a certain process, there is a formula that you need to follow, but to find that formula isn't hard. You know what I mean? A lot of it comes from you wanting to do it yourself. How hard how far are you willing to go to get it your own self, you know? Um
Yeah.
that's what really counts in it, because you can learn something that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a passion for it, and that's going to push you to be that precise, to be that detailed, to get you to those levels. You know what I mean? That some
Definitely.
people, you'll run into some people that, you know, they like doing it, but they're not willing to get into that very little corner to make sure it's all, you know what I mean, perfectly
Yeah.
right. They'll just scuff over it, or, you know, they'll, you know, do what they want to do with it. But
Yeah.
I would say to a young person, you know, that wants to get involved with it, you know, it's not hard like that. There is a formula, but it takes time, and you have to really want it, you
Mm.
know, to be good at it. You have to
Yeah.
want it to be good at it.
Yeah. Gotta have
Mhm.
love for the game.
Yeah, gotta have love for it, no matter what. Like
uh,
so many things in this world. You know?
yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying. You're not lying. Honestly, and that's a good note to end on. Honestly, we really appreciate you coming here and dropping all the jewels that you have, and gaining. Do you want to give like a shout out to, like, I guess, all your socials, like the shop again, and just like
Mhm.
the show is yours.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know, everybody, if you want to keep up with the things that I do, my name on Instagram is Erick V underscore underscore, and the body shop that me and we work out / run together. It's called ARS, Auto Body and Refinishing Source, located on 6154 Wilkinson Boulevard. We do have an Instagram account for it, for our absolute special work, because we actually have a small brand that we're building up right now for our custom work. It's called Spec V, and we have a Spec V Instagram. I'll link that in the bottom, you know, below,
Yeah.
so people could visit it, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's really where it is. If you want to keep up with me, you know?
We appreciate you. I'll have everything in the comments. We really appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in for the Unknown Options. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and please follow and like and comment and DM Erick too on all his pages too. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
hey, please do all that. And, yeah.
People, hey, look, if you have any questions, you know, I can answer people. I've helped people out. People have called me from Louisiana asking about
Mm,
cars, and they want to get involved a little bit more in doing things. So, you know, I've spent some time and talked with people on the phone. So I'm like an
definitely.
open book. Is cool. You know, I don't mind sharing the
He
knowledge.
really is, because I hit him up on last Saturday. I hit him up last Saturday. He definitely helped me out. He saved me a lot of money. So I really appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you. Thank y'all guys for joining, and y'all have a nice night. Bro, that was good. We hit 28 minutes.